Okay, so we have a big challenge ahead of us trying to get this food alarm to work and rig something up so that we can be notified if any critters get into our food. And so you can see that to help us out, we brought along our mobile makerspace, this big container full of all sorts of really fun stuff that is going to help us out with a lot of different things. We're rooting around trying to figure out what the best device would be to help us with this challenge, and we decided again to use our microbit. Gracie's got one here. So we're going to use this little guy to help us sort of be notified when our container of cocoa powder gets opened up. Now here's our container of cocoa powder. You can see that the lid is just a little snap lid, not too much to it, just sort of snaps there. There's nothing really that secures it down. And of course we're going to try our best to bring this in with all the other food that we have to the tent and things to keep it safe during the evening, but just in case if we leave this out, we're going to rig something up to make sure that we're notified when a little guy gets into it. Now, in order to do that, we have our microbit, and really the microbit has a sort of basic setup where it uses circuits, right? So we have our pins here, 0, 1, and 2. These are all sort of input-output pins, and that's what we're going to be using as sort of sensors to detect if anything is going on with our container. And all we're going to do is, just like our step counter, we're going to use alligator clips to clamp on to our 0 pin and our ground to sort of make a circuit, and then on the other end of that circle that makes our circuit, we're going to have our little container. So you want to help me with this, Gracie?
Sure.
Okay, so let's hold that. I'm going to take this, I'm going to open this, and we're going to just stick that on. So we have one, yeah, and hold it again just so that we can keep it steady. I'm going to take this other one and stick it on the ground. So you can show everybody else. Now we've just got one of these alligator clips clipped onto the 0 and one onto the ground, and we have 2 ends on here which we are then going to hook up to our container. Now in order for the container to be part of our circuit, it also needs to conduct electricity, and right now it's made of plastic, so we need to actually add something to this container to make it so that it conducts electricity, right? So we were sort of thinking, Gracie came up with something like the copper tape here. And if you look at it, it's a really thin, not very wide, and easy to cut just with a pair of scissors. And we're going to cut little strips, and the neat thing about this copper foil is that it actually has, it's adhesive on the back, so you peel this off and you can stick it to lots of different things, making all sorts of cool different types of circuits and things like that with it. So why don't we start this off? Here, I'll pass you the scissors.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
And we're just going to cut off some strips. So you want to cut one about that length. I'll get out of your way. Okay, so there's one. There's 2. That's good. And we'll cut off 2 more. And 1 more. Alright. So now we're done with that for now. We can take the scissors. That's okay. Let's set them over there. Now, do you want to help me? We'll do this one strip at a time. I gotta pick one up first. You got it? Try and get that sticky part off. Can you get it?
There we
Good.
go.
Okay. So before we pull that and stick it somewhere, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna just hold it here. Let's think about how we're going to attach it to our container. We can go this way and have it stick out, but I was thinking if we went this way, we could make some little tabs that we can connect our alligator clips to. Do you think that might work?
Yeah, that might be better.
Okay, so I'll do this here. Do you want to make sure that that's stuck all on the inside? Make sure it goes down into that seam so we can get it, still have it so that it snaps. That's okay. Now, what we're going to do, we have this part that's sticky that's coming out this end. What if we were to fold this over, like so, and make a little tab? So now, that might work, because we've got a connection point here. We'll have the same thing on this part of the container, but also we have, yeah, a spot where we can clip that on. So we can actually do that right now. Do you want to hold the lid?
Sure.
And we're gonna get that there. So now our lid is part of our circuit, right? So let's put that there for now, maybe just over here. And we can do the same thing with our container. Boys, it is tricky to get the end of this, eh?
I could try.
Could you? Here, I'll give you that one. I'll do this one. One of us will get it in. Okay, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
So set that there because we may need it. So now we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to tap this down so that the cocoa's out of the way.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to stick this here.
And we're going to do the same thing as we did for the lid.
Right. So now let's bring it down, and then we can make a little tab again.
By folding it.
Yeah. Like so.
There.
Now,
We have to clip the alligator clip on the tab again.
good for you, yeah. So you want to do that part? See if
Sure.
you can. It's kind of, these things, alligator clips are always tricky, but there, it's
There,
good.
I got it.
Okay, so now we have a lid and a container part of our circuit. So now, what's missing though is that they're still separate, so what do we need to do to complete this circuit?
We need to put the lid on the container.
Okay, so let's do that.
But
And
we have to make sure the copper touches.
exactly, very good. So now that's that. There we go. Now, the one thing I'm noticing is that when they go like that, that might still be okay. Why don't we continue? We're going to actually do something a little differently because I noticed that the two alligator clips are kind of touching each other.
Yeah.
If we take that off, see, I got some extras here just in case, because I was thinking, yeah, we can do this just to make those little tabs bigger. See if I can, yeah, so it's a little wider.
Or you can do the tabs and you can make the alligator clip stick.
Oh, that might be cool. That might be a cool way of doing it. You mean use the sticky part?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you didn't have alligator clips that clipped on, maybe that would be a cool way of attaching the wires that you do have. Look, I got cocoa all over me. You want to lick it? The cocoa?
Ew, no.
You tried that earlier, didn't you?
Yeah, it didn't taste so good. It tasted really strong.
Okay, so let's make this one wider too. I think it's just a better idea to have wider tabs so that we have more to work with. Right? Let me take this off just for now. Whoops.
Oh, excuse me. Whoops.
Certainly. Okay. So then, these tabs are wider, and I think that might help because we have more chances of them contacting each other or touching.
Oh, I understand what you're going to do. You're going to attach that one to that piece of copper, right?
Yeah. So now,
Two alligator clips aren't touching anymore.
yeah, that's right. So I think that might work. And if not, we can sort of go back to the drawing board and adjust it and things like that. But that's our first part. So we have this. Oh, and then the last thing, I guess, is our battery pack. We can plug that in. And if we plug this in, there's our completed package here. Yeah, our circuit. Exactly. So now what we're going to do with all of this is that we're going to program our microbit to respond when that circuit is open. So if the lid is off, the circuit is open, and it'll know, and so we say when that opens, then let us know. Okay, I think that's a good start. So this is going to be what's going on with our little container.